Standard application programs: word processor, spreadsheet, database manager, desktop publisher, web browser. Web Word processor, it is the application software. MS Word is the most common example of the word processor. Spreadsheet, it is also application software. Information is stored in different cells. Each cell is spread in the spreadsheet can contain numeric and alphanumeric data. MS Excel is the most common example of the spreadsheet software. Database management system. Database management system is a computer software. Database refers to a set of records which are stored in a structured manner. Search, update, delete on the data stored in the database. Various operations such as search, update and delete on the data stored in the database. DBMS are as follows: organize all the information in a strategic manner. Consistency in the information stored in the database. Data integrity. Maintain the security of the confidential information by password protecting. DBMS, used for maintaining a database, always uses specific data models such as relational, hierarchical, and network. Physical and logical arrangement of the data, that describes the physical and logical arrangement of data. In relational data model, different records are arranged in the form of tables. Hierarchical model, records are arranged in the form of a tree. Each node is connected with one or more parent nodes as well as child nodes. Relational model, network model, hierarchical model. रेशनल मॉडल टेबल वाइज लिखा है एंड नेटवर्क मॉडल वन पेरेंट एंड मोर चाइल्ड्स सॉरी ईच आर कनेक्टेड टू ईच अदर इन रेशनल मॉडल network model each are connected to each other. Rational model is multiple parent mode because column wise है table है and hierarchical, different data models used to design DBMS. Relational table wise था, network each are connected to each other, every record is connected to each other, and hierarchical, one parent node and more child node. Data structure refers to a storage mechanism that is used to store multiple values as a single entity. File, it refers the collection of multiple records. Record, it refers to a collection of multiple values of different data types related to one entity. Field, it refers to a set of different values having similar data type. Transaction mechanism, atomicity, complete either all tasks included in a transaction processing or none of them. Consistency, maintaining consistency in the information stored. Isolation and durability. ACID, transaction mechanisms following properties: ACID, atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Consistency, maintaining consistency in the information stored, and atomicity, complete either all tasks included in a transaction processing or none of them. Desktop database query language. DBM includes query language system which enables a user to perform various operations such as searching and updating the information stored in the database. Desktop publishing system, organizing the content layout by setting margins and justification properties of the page. So desktop publishing system, it includes the activities which is organizing the content layout by setting margins and justification properties of the page. Desktop publishing system is also referred as DTP, and some commonly used DTP application software include Quark, Express, InDesign, Microsoft Publisher, Apple Pages. Quark Express, InDesign, Microsoft Publisher, Apple Pages. Unique application programs. Unique application programs. These programs also referred to as end user application programs, refer to as एप्लीकेशन स्पेसिफिक प्रोग्राम है, यूनिक एप्लीकेशन। ओके, ये एप्लीकेशन स्पेसिफिक प्रोग्राम्स है, इंड यूज़र एप्लीकेशन प्रोग्राम्स भी इसे बोलते हैं। एग्जांपल्स ऑफ यूनिक एप्लीकेशंस इंक्लूड मैनेजिंग द इन्वेंट्री ऑफ अ स्टोर, managing the inventory of a store, preparing pay bills of employees in an organization, reserving seats in trains or airlines. Okay, processing examination results of students, analyzing mathematical models, computing personal income tax, and many more. These programs are usually developed in one of the high-level languages such as C, C++, or Java. High-level language usually developed in one of the high-level languages C, C++, and Java. Inventory management system, keeping a record of huge amount of items stored in warehouse. Payroll, barcode of an item. Okay, inventory management system, it helps in keeping a record of huge amount of items stored in warehouse through the barcode of an item, a sample barcode of an item. Barcode technology with inventory management system saves a lot of time as the user is not required to manually enter the item details. These details are automatically read by the barcode scanner and stored in the database of the inventory management system. Payroll system. Payroll system. It is used by the HR department of an organization for the purpose of computation of salary of employees. Problem solving. Preparing hierarchy chart, top down solution of a problem from top to down. Okay, preparing hierarchy chart, problem solving. Okay, so solving a problem, these are problems. Preparing hierarchy chart, hierarchy chart shows the top down solution of a problem, and then developing algorithm, developing algorithm is a sequence of steps written in the form of English phrases and specify the task that are performed while solving a problem. Drawing flowchart. Flowchart is a pictorial representation of an algorithm. Writing pseudocode. Pseudocode is pretty much similar to algorithms. Uses generic syntax for describing the steps that are to be performed for solving a problem. Along with the statements written using generic syntax, pseudocode can also use English phrases for describing an action. Hierarchy chart. Hierarchy chart is a solution approach that suggests a top-down solution of a problem. So since the chart graphically illustrates the structure of a program, it is also known as a structure chart. While developing a computer program, we may treat each subtasks as a module and prepare computer code for testing independently. This approach is popularly known as modular programming. Note that the hierarchy chart does not provide any detail about program logic. Algorithms. Time complexity specifies the amount of time required by an algorithm for performing the desired task. Space complexity specifies the amount of memory space required by an algorithm for performing a desired task. Flowchart. It is a pictorial representation of a process, sequence and flow of the control and information in a process. Start and end. Oval or a rounded rectangle in a flowchart. Start and end are represented by oval or rounded rectangle in a flowchart. Input and output represented by parallelogram. Input and output represented by parallelogram. Action or process is represented by rectangle. Action and process is represented by rectangle. Decision or condition is represented by rhombus or a diamond shape. Rhombus or diamond shape. Decision and condition. DCDR. DCDR, diamond or rhombus. DCDR, decision or condition, diamond or rhombus. एरो क्या करेगा, रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय अ डायरेक्टेड लाइन. और क्या, कनेक्टर इज रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय अ सर्कल इन अ फ्लो चार्ट. Pseudocode serve this purpose by specifying only the logic which is used by the programmer for developing a computer program. Structuring the logic. Sequence structure, selection structure, repetition structure. The following types. Structures are categorized into the following types. Depending upon the sequence of the execution of the statements, the control structures are categorized into the following types. Sequence structure. All the statements are executed in the same order as they are written in the program. Selection structure. A selection structure is also known as branching structure. Repetition structure, known as looping structure. So sequence, selection, repetition. Sequence, same order as they are written in the program. Execute in the same order as they are written. Selection, known as branching. Repetition, known as looping. Sequence structure. Selection structure also known as decision making structure. So selection also branching structure and decision making structure. If then else case type. If then following types categorized. The selection structure is categorized into the following types. If then execution of the statements specified in the then clause occurs only if the condition is true. If the condition is true, then only execution of the statement is specified in the then. If then else. If the condition given in the if clause is true, then the all statement specified in the then clause are executed. Otherwise, statements given in the else clause are executed. Case type. Multiple sets of statements are specified. switch. What about switch? Okay, selection structure, if then else, and case types. Case type means switch, because multiple sets of statements and we can switch from one to another statement. Repetition structure, selection था इधर repetition structure, only one set of multiple statement is specified. The various types of repetition structure are as follows. Do while at each instance of execution of a block statements, the condition is checked. If the condition is true, then only the block statements are executed, otherwise the repetition structure is terminated. Repeat until, opposite to the do while repetition structure. Repeat execution of statements given in the repeat clause occurs only when the condition given in the in the until clause is false. Using the computer, all the activities which have to be performed by a user in order to solve a problem using computer are grouped into three phases: understanding the program, developing a program, executing the program. Understanding the program, developing the program, executing the program. Understanding the program, identify the parameters and constraints, collecting information. And second, developing a program means understanding में क्या था, identify parameter and constraint, and then collecting information. And second, developing a program में identify the logical structure, writing algorithm to list the various steps. Second, drawing a flowchart to represent the flow of information. Third, write pseudocode to specify the programming specifications. And writing the computer program, debugging the program. And third, executing the program. Hardware performing various operations such as storing data into storage devices, transferring data through buses and cables. System software directly controls the working of hardware components of the computer system. Editor allows the user to write and edit text in the computer system. Pseudocode is a set of instructions that describe the logic of a solution. Algorithm is sequential structure of steps which are performed to solve a particular problem. Flowchart, pictorial representation of a process. Compiler translates a high-level program into a machine language program. Assembler, it is a program that translates a program written in the assembly language into a machine language program. And then linker, a program that combines several object code files into a single executable program. Debugger is a program used to detect errors and bugs in a program. A computer system consists of two types of components: hardware components and software components. Computer system is classified into two categories, namely hard copy and soft copy. Device driver acts as translator between operating system and input-output devices. A computer system requires special software called device driver in order to interact with input-output devices. Language translator converts the high-level language program into the low-level program called language translator. क्या है? High level, low level. बैक लेते हैं ये, इधर ही तो पढ़ा था भाई. इधर ही तो पढ़ा था. असेंबली को लो लैंग्वेज, लो लेवल में. भाई साहब पोपट. Language translator, compilers, assembler, interpreters. Language translators convert the high-level language program into low-level language. Compiler, high-level language program into machine-level language. Assembler, assembly language into machine language. Interpreter, high-level program into machine code statement by statement. Machine language. Language translator, which converts high-level program into machine language, which is language translator. And whatever. Database refers to a set of records which are stored in structure in the computer system. In the hierarchical model, records are arranged in form of a tree, in which each record is attached with one parent node and one or more children node. Desktop publishing system is also known as DTP. Pseudocode is not written using any specific syntax of a programming language. Flowchart is a pictorial representation of a process which describes the sequence and flow of the control and information in a process. In a sequence structure, multiple statements are written in a simple sequence in the program. Which of the following is hardware device? Barcode reader. A device driver acts as interface between operating system and input-output device. Which of the following software components enable a user to store data in the form of tables? Spreadsheet. Which of the following is not a system software? Word processor. While linkers, device drivers, and operating systems are system softwares. Which of the following software helps the users to detect the errors while executing a program? To detect the error, debugger, while executing a program. Which of the following software runs at the basic level of computer system? System software. A program in which multiple instructions of high-level language or assembly language instructions are written is generally known as source code. Multiple instructions of high-level language or assembly language instructions are written in generally source code program. A small program which provides additional capabilities to the operating system is known as utility program. Which is not necessary part of operating system, but it provides the additional capabilities. A software which links different elements of an object code with the library files is known as linker. Which of the following operations is not a utility system? Debugger. Debugger is not a utility system. Developing program है. Okay. Utility system. Virus scanner is a utility system. System profiler is a utility system. Disk defragmenter is a utility system because these are special capabilities. Which of the following is not a data structure? Table. Table is not a data structure. While records, file and fields, these are data structures. Which of the following data model enable us to arrange data files in the tree structure hierarchical model? The software which enables an end user to edit text and other components of a publishing document is known as editor. A control structure in which only a single set of instructions executes several times is known as repetition structure. Single set of instructions executes several times known as repetition structure. Which of the following structure executes the sets of instructions only when the given condition is false? Repeat until it will false we have to repeat those all. And the next, operating system.